I'm going to do our pre-flight. We'll just take a general look at the airplane before we begin. Looking at the landing gears, looking good. Everything's looking pretty clean. Come down and look at one of the wings. I like the nice straight look of that. We'll go back around to the other side. This is the right wing. Nice and clean and straight. Now to go inside, do our initial pre-flight work. This is the step that you use, and then there's a handle right up here. So grab onto the handle and then step up onto the wing. Open the canopy latch, slide it open. Then we step inside. We keep a towel on the left seat so that you can step on it without hurting anything, without messing up our beautiful leather. So inside, we'll get our checklist. Go down our pre-flight check, one item at a time. And we'll just walk through that. First item on the list is our master switch. I'll just pull this out so you can see where our switches are. And the master switch is over here on the left. And we'll watch our fuel gauge. This aircraft has 4 tanks. Our main tank here holds just under 40 gallons, 39.5. And then this is the rear baggage compartment tank gauge, our left tip gauge, and this is the left tip here. This is our right tip gauge. So it looks like we have full fuel. And we're going to check the gear lights. So we have 3 in the green. The yellow is our hydraulic power, which we always leave on the ground. And then we check our circuit breakers. Over here, all good, nothing popped. Turn our master switch off. Make sure we don't have keys in the ignition. And then check our rear seats. Looking good, pretty secure, no problem. And then we'll make sure our paperwork is all here, aero paperwork. So we have our registration, airworthiness, and a photo of the previous owner. And we have a weight and balance in here also. Something else I might mention is we always keep a carbon monoxide detector current, and it looks good. One other item I wanted to show here was the roomy rear seat. We've got quite a bit of comfortable space there, and the view from the rear is quite good. We have our oxygen tank mounted down here. We have 4-place oxygen. And then we have, of course, the intercoms in front and rear, 4-place intercom system. And this seat is a split rear seat, so this can fold down for a little more comfort for an armrest. These also pop open to access the baggage compartment, which, as you can see, is quite roomy. Now we're ready to go outside and do our external. Now we're going to open the engine cowling and look at the oil and the hydraulic levels. First, I'll just get a close-up of the release screws. I forget what they call these, but they're the quick release, one turn, and they open up. So we just pop each screw. Lift up, and it latches. It has a little latch up there. I don't know if you can see that. That's the latch for the engine cowling. It just automatically pops and holds in the open position. This is the hydraulic fluid reservoir. And of course you can see our nice IO 520 gold seal engine from Western Skyways. And right up in here is the oil cap where we'll check the oil level. To check the hydraulic fluid, just twist this off. Here it is. Let's see if we get a good close-up of that. So what I'm looking for here is the red fluid up to the second dot there. And that tells me that the hydraulic fluid level is correct. We'll put this back in. And then we check the oil level. And let's see if we can get a close-up of that. So you can probably see there, I hope, that the oil is between, it's about 10.5 quarts, and it's looking pretty clean. And just feeling it, no grit. And this has probably got about, I think maybe 15 hours on this oil change, maybe slightly less. And it started with 12 quarts, so we're down 1.5 quarts from when we filled it. So pretty soon I'll add another quart. Bare minimum is 8 quarts, and maximum is 12. So, and really pleased with how it only uses a little bit of oil between changes. A little more look into the engine compartment here. You can see how clean things are. This cabling here is for the engine analyzer. These are exhaust gas probes down here, and cylinder head probes are, let's see, those are down inside, right in here. So we have 2 probes on each cylinder, and it's a very comforting thing with that engine analyzer gauge. Tells you exactly what's going on with this engine at all times, and it's looking very good as we fly. Now I'll move around to the front, and we'll take a look at the prop. Make sure the leading edge of this prop is clean with no nicks. You know, very slight nicks. The rule is with the edge, if you catch your fingernail in it, then you probably need to have it filed out. There's nothing like that on there. And then I'm checking the air filters, and the air filter is right here. Make sure it is secure and looks fairly clean. The landing lights are intact. The alternator looks good. The wiring on the alternator is right over here. All looking good. Okay, now moving around to the right side of the airplane. We'll open the cowling here. Again, it pops open and latches itself. And what we're looking for here, pause. Improve the lights. Okay. What we're looking for here is just anything that's loose or has a problem. All the EGT sensors and cylinder head sensors look good. Looking at the fuel injection system, all the tubing looks good. Everything's clean up here on all our wiring harnesses from the mags. And these were new mags when we replaced the engine in 2007. And everything is very clean over here, starter and heater muff, and there's a hydraulic pump in here that we'll get a close-up of that here. So you can see this area. That's the hydraulic pump, the starter, of course, and the rest of the items in the engine compartment. And as you can see, everything is quite clean here. All right, now I'm going to work my way around the right wing. Just come out here and take a quick look down the wing. Everything looks great, nice and straight. Then I'm checking verifying the fuel level here. Here's the latch for the fuel. Pop the thing off. Look inside, looks clean. And then I put it back on. I always check it 2 times, make sure it's latched. Same thing here, make sure that's latched and secure. And then we'll take a look at the pitot. Here's that pitot. Nice and clear inside, the way it's supposed to be. Okay, on the tip tanks, I just open up the latch, make sure that the cap is secure. Latch it back down. Light's in good shape. We'll walk around the other side of the wing here. And here I'm looking at the aileron. Make sure the movement is good. Checking the locking cotter pins, cotter keys on each of the mounts. All the linkage looks good. Checking the flaps, they're nice and tight, and also checking those bolts. Make sure those cotter pins are in. Now back around the side, over to the static air vent. Right there, it's clear. Our tail looks good, nice and straight. Elevator, secure. You can lift it up and down, and of course the yokes inside are moving. This is the trim tab on the right elevator, looking clean. Our locking nuts in place here. Down here on the rudder, we're checking for any looseness. It just feels perfect now. Looking at the safety wire on the connection there. Everything looks good. Clean under here. Back to the other elevator. And the trim tab here, clean. Locking cotter pin. Where'd it go? The locking cotter pin is in place here. Back around the side of this left. And nice and clean, straight. Rounds the other static tube. Static port, and it's clean. The antennas look secure. Our beacon up there, rotating beacon's intact. Antenna looks good. The ELT antenna down here is looking good. I think that's ELT there. And the strobe is underneath. And then just going around this wing and doing the same thing, checking the ailerons and the flaps, and back around to the other tip tank, back down that side. One thing I forgot to mention, I always check these mirrors that I installed and make sure that they're secure. They've been on there for 5 or 6 years, no problems. These have been wonderful in verifying the gear. So whenever I lower the gear, I look out the window at both sides and make sure I can see. I can see the nose gear very clearly in that mirror, on that side. On the nose gear here, we're checking the struts, make sure everything's secured tight, and there's enough distance in the hydraulic cylinder. Same on the two mains. Looking at our rubber, looks great. That's a nice Michelin Aviator, just a couple of years old. Okay, there's two places to stick the fuel. This is the accumulator tank, which holds about 3/4 gallon. And so we just stick that here with the little butterfly valve and check out the fuel. It looks clean, smells good. I don't see any particles in there. And then come over to the other low spot in the line. And here we have a petcock type valve, which I just dripped on myself, but that's all right. And again, nice and clean, no crud in it. It has nice new Michelin rubber on the mains, and the nose wheel's in good shape too, tire. New brake pads, just a year ago. We just have this nice electric truck, and it's not that hard to push by hand, but it's a nice back saver. Okay, we're going to fire it up now. We have the went through our pre-flight on our checklist here. Can you see our checklist? Mm-hmm. There it is. And now we're going to the before engine start. Parking brakes on, hydraulic power is on, cowl flaps are open, push in and lock. Our prop is in full increase, our mixture's in rich, full rich. Fuel selectors down here. We have our main is on, and our right and left tips are off, and our baggage compartment tank is off. So that's where we want everything. We've already verified our fuel. Alternate air is right here, is good. And all our circuit breakers are in. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Headsets are plugged in. We're both belted in. And we turn the generator switch on, and then we have down here, it's probably hard to see, but there's a fuel pump switch right here. I'm going to put it on high for just a few seconds and watching the pressure. It goes up to about 14 gallons per minute. And then clear. Talk us through a little more. We've been warming up for a few minutes and running at 1050 on our digital RPM, and we're going to go ahead and press enter on our GPS to pick up our satellites, and it starts working on that. And then I'll go ahead and set our compass or heading to 270. So we're headed about due west according to our compass, magnetic compass. And our altimeter setting 2420, which is our field elevation. And we'll just listen to our AWAS. We have a switch here that switches the comm from the nav to the comm.
Wind 030 at 3, visibility more than 10. Caldwell Industrial Airport, automated weather observation 2308 Zulu weather, wind 020 at 3, visibility more than.
Okay, I misspoke there. It switches between the two comms, and then the navs are over here for the VORs. Okay, so we're starting to warm up here and steer with my rudder. My rudder is tied in to the nose wheel with bungee, And also we have toe brakes, so I can steer with either one.
Yeah.
One nice feature is you can pop the canopy open, and it has a slide that locks in place with about 8 inches of open canopy. Caldwell area traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo, taxiing to 12, Caldwell.
Sorry for the bad audio in this section. What I'm saying is that I'm going to go ahead and put in the waypoint on the GPS. U88 is the designator for Garden Valley. So I'll dial that in. Once it's dialed in, I press the nav button to bring up the moving map, and then press the zoom in button so I get a nice zoomed in view.
Okay, and then for our run-up checklist, set the toe brakes, just pump them a little bit, pull out on the locking mechanism here. I'll check my flight controls all the way out. Nice smooth operation. Looking at the ailerons, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Check the rudder movement. Looks good. The flight instruments, I'm about right on my heading indicator, and my altimeter is correct. Checking our oil temp, we're in the green, so it's good to run it up. So I'm up to 1700.
Once again, the wind is interfering with the little lapel mic I'm wearing, so the audio is bad. What I'm doing here is running up the engine to 1700 RPM and then checking the left and right mags individually. The drop is about 40 to 60, which is within spec. Here I'm checking the prop, pulling the knob out so that it lowers the RPMs, and as I pull out I can watch the RPMs drop. Now I'm checking the vacuum pressure to make sure we're in the green, and that's looking good. Now I'm lowering the flaps to verify that the hydraulic system's working right. So look outside, they go down slowly and they come up pretty fast, but that verifies their hydraulics are good. Then I put the flap selector in the neutral position. Look back at my checklist. I think we've gone through everything on the list. One of the things I always do like to look at in addition is that the generator switch is on and the amp meter is showing a charge. So looking at this, we're drawing about 13.9 amps and charging it at 14.1 volts. So we're looking good. Now we'll just take the RPMs back down to 1000 and then taxi for takeoff.
Going to close our canopy. On our phone here, we'll put in the little Avair app, which is an awesome little free app to supplement our GPS.
Traffic 121 Kilo Kilo, 25 left downwind to 115. Cold traffic Hotel J80 Hotel is transition to transient parking. Taxi Alpha via Foxtrot Caldwell.
Caldwell traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo, departing 12. We have the Cessna in sight behind us.
Tampa traffic, terminal 121 Kilo Kilo, downwind to 110.
getting lined up. Gas undercarriage mixture prop ready to go.
Caldwell traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo on crosswind 12. We're departing the pattern to the north out of the crosswind lane.
I'm going to lean it out a bit. This has vernier type mixer prop throttle, so you can either pull or you can twist. Takes us down to about a 14-gallon burn on climb out, and we're climbing at a rate of about 750 feet a minute. And our exhaust gas temps look good. Cylinder head temps nice and even and good level. By the way, at the 750 feet a minute, we're doing 100 knots in a climb. Outside air temperature right now is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. We've climbed 2,000 feet now. Frequencies now. 1229 is our backcountry frequency. A lot of our small airstrips around here. So I'll just monitor that for a while. As you can see, we're up at 6,400 feet now. We departed at 2,400. So we've gone up 4,000. I'm climbing at a rate of 500 a minute now with indicated airspeed of about 110. To make sure we're outside of our Boise airspace. Yeah, we're looking good. We can double check up here on this one. Zoom out a little. Yeah, well, we're definitely outside the Boise airspace there. Got a ground speed of 130 knots. Still climbing at 500 come down to about 2,300 for economy cruise. And I think we can lean ourselves out here in a minute. Going to open those close the cowl flaps. Get us a few more knots airspeed. Bumpy today, but not bad. You can see from all the little cumulus that the air will be a little bumpy. If we were in a little Cessna, we'd be bouncing around a bit, but this is a nice heavy plane, and it's pretty darn stable in turbulence. So at 2310 RPM, I think I can lean us out. I'm going to try it watching the EGTs as I lean. They're dropping, so I'm lean a peak now. Engine run just a little rough. I'll take it back a little rich. And now we're running lean a peak. And you can see the EGTs are pretty even across here. So we're lean a peak. We're cruising at 105 knots indicated, 124 knots ground speed. We're burning just between 11 and 12 gallons an hour right now. And we're trying to hold steady between 7,500 and 8,000 feet. If we were going on a long cross country, I'd take us up to 11.5, probably, sometimes 12.5, and using oxygen. But at 11.5, we can get this down to about 11 gallons an hour, about our same airspeed, maybe a little faster than we're doing here at 2,400 RPM. But we have a chart, and it's pretty accurate for those all those values. So you can see I'm running lean and peak, and I've got nice low temps, 1240, 283 on cylinder head. I can step across this and see all of them. Highest one looks like it's 302 or 321. And then I get some outside air temp also, info about shock cooling, the peak value of the EGTs. As far as the horizontal stability, you can see I'm letting go of the yokes. I'm not touching the rudders either right now. And all it does is climb, but stay straight and level. I mean, it stays straight, but wants to climb a bit. So I just got to trim it out until I get it a nice setting for cruise, and then it'll level out. All our gauges are looking good. This gauge is cylinder head temp is the old cylinder head we replaced it now with this one. So that's why it has an in-off on there. And there's a database in here for IFR, excuse me. There's an IFR capability in this GPS, and it has a database. There's a little memory chip in here that you can pull out and update on your computer. And so for now, we've allowed that to expire. Neither of us are IFR rated, so we don't really use that. As you know, the airspeed indicator is adjustable for the altitude. So we're at 8,500 feet, and we're an outside air temp up here about looks like -5 centigrade. So I'll take this to 8,500 and -5, right about in there. And so our true airspeed looking like about 125, 126. And our ground speed's 138, so we got a little bit of a tailwind going. So if I wanted to, if I was in a hurry here, I would run this up to 2,500 RPM, even 26 if I wanted to, really hurry up, but I'm not in a big hurry, and I like the low fuel flow, so it's floating around between 11 and 12 and 2,300 RPM. Correlates pretty well to chart that's in our book. Picking up the Donnelly VOR here, which is about 40 miles that way. And I can tune it in on the needle. And then this is the Boise VOR. Tune that in on the needle. And also I can use my digital VOR, which is very nice. So we're at 165 in the Boise. And Donnelly 332. That's a tube radio. The front radio is 150. There it is, B-O-I. B-O-I. 162. Very nice little instrument. Okay, we need to make a right turn in here. And we're going to head in between these hills right over in here. We're going to head down into that valley in between those two hills. So I'm going to start a descent. Take our RPMs down. About 2,000. Take our manifold pressure down a bit for now. We'll match it about 19. Our fuel flow has now dropped down to about 9 gallons an hour. And we got about a 700 foot a minute descent. We've got 1,000 feet a minute descent going now. Indicated airspeed of about 135. Ground speed 144 knots. And this is Garden Valley up ahead of us. Garden Valley, Idaho, the other place. Garden Valley area traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo. I'm at 6,700. We'll circle around Crouch and then overfly the airport for 10 Garden Valley. So you can see how stable this is in a turn. I've got about a standard rate turn going here and descending. I have to hold it in to descend though. And look how stable that holds that turn without me doing much of anything. I can do a lot with this rudder, which I'm not using a whole lot right now. I'm going to just do a whole 180 here in a second. A little more sightseeing. Take the manifold pressure down so I don't do any kind of shock and hold. Our temps are still looking pretty good for this descent. Got 1184 or 236 on cylinder head. Starting the right turn, 45 degree turn this time. Dropping some altitude, we're down to 5,300 now. Pull it up a little bit. Go ahead and open our cowl flaps. It's not really very warm out, but I don't mind a little extra drag. So as you can see, I need on the downwind, I need to stay kind of high over these hills over here. Garden Valley Airport, Navion 5304 Kilo, about 3 miles to the west at 4,600. I'm going to overfly the field, midfield for left downwind, 10 Garden Valley. I see the wind side, looks like it's coming downfield this direction. Garden Valley Airport, Navion 5304 Kilo, overflying midfield for 10 Garden Valley.
Garden Valley traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo, left base 10, Garden Valley.
This is an interesting airstrip. I can't see it when I'm on initial base flag. Again, 3 in the green. Airstrip's looking good. We have 4,000 feet. We got full flaps. I'm going to take our airspeed now down to about 70 to 75. If I had a little swirly wind, I'd hold it about 75. With no wind, I'd hold it at 65 on final.
Garden Valley traffic, Navion 5304 Kilo, on final for 10, Garden Valley, full stop.
I'm going 70 knots, between 70 and 65, and you can see our big barn door flaps are bringing us down quick. It's really nice. And if I had to, I'd do a side slip, but don't feel the need right now. I've got a spot on the runway looking good. Take our RPM down just a tad. And we've got a nice long runway here, so I don't have to land right on the numbers, of which there aren't any. Hold the nose up because I'm on a rough, not real rough, but a little bit rough strip. And we'll go over here to the parking area. Nice nose wheel steering. Hold the pressure off that nose wheel. You can see there's a little picnic area here, which is kind of cool, and there's some tie downs. River flowing by. Flaps up. That's a butterfly valve sound. Okay, flaps are up. So I'm going to shut down our landing light. Avionics are going off. I usually leave the generator on, and then I just pull out the mixture. Always have it, pull the keys out, put them on the collie. And that's the landing. Clear. really a short field, but I just wanted to demonstrate. Short, soft field. Garden Valley traffic, Navion 5304 kilo, departing 30, will be headed off toward Banks.